Hello, welcome to Japan Lyric Room. In this show, while carefully savoring the lyrics of Japanese songs, we will deliver the meanings hidden in the phrases and the unique cultural backgrounds of Japan in an easy-to-understand way. So, you know the classic superhero theme song formula, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the hero gets knocked down, the triumphant brass section kicks in.
Exactly, and they just rise against all odds to save the day. It's safe, it's clean, and, it reassures us that good will always triumph over evil. But today, we are tearing that comfortable formula to shreds.
We really are.
Yeah.
We're looking at a musical landscape that is, well, just terrifyingly dark. It completely subverts that comforting binary of good and evil we're all so used to.
Yeah, the song we're exploring today is SPECIALZ by the phenomenal band King Gnu. And to really grasp what makes this track so unsettling, we have to immediately establish its context.
Right. The background is crucial here.
This song serves as the opening theme for the massive TV anime Jujutsu Kaisen. But not just any season, it is the theme for the incredibly intense Shibuya Incident Arc. For you listening, if you aren't familiar, this isn't just your standard magical battle. It's a sudden, massive, citywide terrorist attack by supernatural monsters happening right in the middle of Shibuya Scramble, which is, one of the busiest intersections on planet Earth.
And that sheer scale of destruction is absolutely vital to our mission in this lyric explanation. Because unlike previous theme songs in the Jujutsu Kaisen series that were told from the perspective of the sorcerers,
the heroes trying to save humanity, right?
Exactly. Unlike those, this song completely flips the camera. It's told entirely from the dark perspective of the cursed spirits and the cursed users causing the massacre. I mean, this is their anthem. They are the ones singing directly to us.
That immediately gives me chills. And it's even baked into the title. The song is SPECIALZ, but it's stylized with a Z at the end.
Right. That Z is highly symbolic. It represents the ultimate final form. In the lore of the show, a special grade is the absolute highest classification of danger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but here, it's treated as a state of being. It's a special domain that you can only reach by completely abandoning all human reason and giving yourself over to pure destructive instinct.
So as we savor these lyrics, we're going to trace the thematic arc of the song chronologically. We'll look at how the creator, Daiki Tsuneda, builds this descent into madness by taking incredibly heavy ancient Japanese vocabulary and, crashing it against dark, modern, urban dance beats.
It's a brilliant contrast.
It really is. It starts with the very personal, suffocating desperation of death. In English, that translates to, let's dance at the very edge of death, Tokyo front lines, the capital of excitement.
The cultural nuance here is profound. Let us dance wildly at the very brink of death. Here, at the front lines of Tokyo, the capital of excitement and desire. To really feel the weight of this opening, we have to look closely at two words, imawa and kiwakiwa.
Because imawa is a word you don't just toss around lightly in everyday conversation.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Imawa is a very heavy, terrifying word. It literally means the absolute final moment before your life runs out. It's the deathbed, the final breath.
Right.
And then Sumeda pairs it with kiwakiwa, which emphasizes the absolute boundary, the sheer edge of a cliff. When you combine them, it creates this inescapable, desperate tension. You're standing right on the line of oblivion with absolutely nowhere left to run.
And here's where the psychology of these cursed spirits gets so twisted to me. In that terrifying, heavy moment where there is nowhere to run, the lyric they sing is, let's dance.
Yeah, it's so unsettling.
Such a sick irony.
Yeah.
They call Tokyo Kyo no Miyako the capital of excitement, while they're actively turning it into a bloodbath. It's like deciding to throw a massive, euphoric rave right in the center of a burning disaster zone.
That's a great way to put it.
It perfectly captures their deranged view of life and death. They aren't afraid, they are reveling in the destruction.
Exactly, they are celebrating the collapse. And that twisted revelry bleeds right into how the song treats the idea of surrender.
Right, which brings us to another phrase that plays with this idea of the edge. Translated, this means, let's struggle at the very edge of giving up. Show me your bad manners too.
Here is the cultural nuance behind those words. Struggle and squirm at the ultimate moment of your end. Throw away your polite facade and show me your most cruel, primal side.
That's intense.
It is. Let's break down the word ojoki-wa. It actually has deep Buddhist origins. It refers to the brink of passing to paradise, basically the moment where you are supposed to accept your death and gracefully let go of the physical world.
Right, and in modern Japanese culture, ojogiwa was usually used negatively, isn't it? If someone is a sore loser, people will mockingly say they have bad...
Precisely. Society demands that you accept defeat with grace. But here, the lyric does the exact opposite. It validates the messy, desperate refusal to die. It tells you to agaku, which means to struggle, to squirm, to thrash around and fight tooth and nail, even when the situation is completely hopeless.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an affirmation of that pure, ugly claim to life.
So it's validating the messy reality of survival. But I am genuinely fascinated by the second half of that line, asking to see their bad manners. Because ogyoge literally means manners, right? Like table manners or polite etiquette.
Yes, I think that.
Isn't it incredibly bizarre to be talking about social etiquette when supernatural monsters are ripping a city apart?
It seems bizarre on the surface, yes. But think about what manners represent, especially in Japan. Japanese culture highly values order, politeness, maintaining harmony, and strict social reason.
Okay. Right.
That is the cage of civilization. By saying, show me your bad manners, the curse is tempting you to break that cage. It is an invitation to completely throw away your polite societal facade.
Ah, I see. So they are saying, drop the polite act, expose your raw, destructive, primal instincts.
Exactly. It frames the battlefield of Shibuya not just as a tragedy, but as a place of cruel beauty where everyone, sorcerers and curses alike, is stripped down to their most authentic, violent selves.
That total shedding of civilization shifts the perspective of the song from a wide, chaotic rave to something much more intensely focused and honestly terrifying. It turns into a hunt. Let's look at the lyrics here.
Sure.
Tsuneta sings, translated, this means no matter what kind of fool, no matter what kind of outsider, every single movement sets my heart on fire.
The nuance we need to capture here is, no matter the fool, no matter the outsider, every single movement you make sets my heart ablaze with madness.
Every single movement.
Right. Notice who is being targeted in this case. Shiramono refers to fools who have completely lost their sanity in the chaos, and Yasumono means outsiders, people who don't belong in this hidden magical world. Everyone is fair game.
Nobody is safe.
Exactly. But the true linguistic focal point is ikishui desoku.
That is quite a mouthful. What does that actually mean?
It's a very heavy, ancient four-character Chinese idiom. It literally translates to one raise of the hand, one step of the foot. Idiomatically, it refers to every single movement, the absolute slightest, most minuscule gesture a person can make.
Building on that release of primal instinct we just talked about, this sounds exactly like a predator obsessively hyperfixated on its prey. You know how a cat gets when it's tracking a laser pointer?
Oh, absolutely.
Its eyes dilate, its body goes completely still, and every tiny microscopic twitch of that red dot is the only thing that matters in the entire universe. Even the tiniest step by an enemy in the streets of Shibuya becomes this prey that sets the curse's heart absolutely ablaze with madness.
That laser pointer analogy is perfect. The hyperfixation is total. And what makes it so striking musically is the contrast. You have this incredibly dense, ancient Chinese scholarly vocabulary, ikkyoshu itosuk, layered directly over a bumping modern urban dance beat.
Yeah, the juxtaposition is wild.
Yeah, it really gives the entire sequence this stalker-like euphoria.
And that stalker-like euphoria just keeps escalating as the hunt turns into an endless devouring. The lyrics continue, which translates to devour absolutely everything to your heart's content, a lifelong labyrinth wandering rendezvous.
The cultural nuance King Gnu is delivering here is devour everything until you are satisfied and continue this endless dance through the labyrinth until the end of time.
It's so dark.
We're seeing a truly bottomless, monstrous hunger with the word isai, which means devouring absolutely everything without leaving a single trace behind. And then we have the image of Kaiyu, which means to wander or swim aimlessly around.
Like swimming through the city.
Yes. They are picturing the neon-lit streets and the deep subway stations of Shibuya, not as a modern city, but as a dungeon-like labyrinth that they're just endlessly swimming through, looking for more to consume.
Hold on, though. I have to push back on the very last word of that phrase. Rendezvous. Like a romantic date. A secret lovers meeting. That is wild to me.
I know, it really stands out.
We are talking about literal monsters slaughtering innocent people in a subway station, and suddenly we are using French romance vocabulary. It feels way too romantic for a massacre.
That jarring, almost offensive feeling is exactly what they are going for. This twist in romanticism is actually King Gnu's signature style. They are masters of blending aestheticism with destruction.
I see.
By using the word rendezvous, the song is actively framing this hellish, endless cycle of murder and wandering as a sweet, inescapable date.
Oh, wow. So they are completely romanticizing the violence.
Precisely. It heavily emphasizes the gap between the song's incredibly light, bouncy, almost pop-like rhythm, the bottomless darkness of the actual situation. To the curses, this massacre isn't a tragedy, it's a romantic evening out. It's an endless dance of death with humanity.
That gap between perception and reality is deeply unsettling. And right when we're zoomed in on this macabre, intimate dance of death, the song suddenly pans the camera way out to show us the whole city. The translation is, let's endure at the very edge of the sumo ring. The areas along the Tokyo train lines are looking like a massive storm.
The full nuance of this line is, hold your ground at the very edge of the ring. The train lines of Tokyo are now in a state of absolute chaos and storm.
It's quite a shift.
It is. Now notice how we have shifted the word for edge. Earlier we had imawa, the edge of death. Now we have dohyogiwa, which means the very edge of the sumo ring.
Why change the word if they both technically mean edge?
Because it's a crucial thematic distinction. Dohyogiwa implies there is still intense heat and combat tension left. In sumo wrestling, if your heel touches the sand just outside that ring, you lose the match instantly.
Right.
One single step back means total defeat. It paints a picture of incredibly tense, combative standing ground. It's a sweaty, desperate grappling match.
Right, the combat is incredibly intense on the ground. But I really have to question the second half of this lyric. The areas along the train lines are in chaos. Frankly, that sounds exactly like a boring, objective morning news traffic update.
It really does.
Like, expect delays on the Yamano line today due to a signal failure. Why use such dry, bureaucratic language in the middle of a magical life-or-death struggle?
It's a brilliant, deliberate counterstroke.
Yeah.
Think about what that dry, objective word choice does. It highlights the terrifying scale of the Shibuya incident by showing you two extreme realities at the exact same time.
Two realities.
Yeah. On the micro level, you have these soul-crushing, sweaty death matches at the edge of the sumo ring. But on the macro level, you have the cold, sterile reality of an entire modern city's infrastructure just collapsing.
It strips the emotion entirely out of the macro-level destruction.
Exactly. Making the city's collapse sound like a mundane traffic report makes it feel massive, inevitable, and chillingly impersonal. It contrasts perfectly with the desperate, hot-blooded personal struggles happening on the ground. The daily mechanical life of the city is just quietly ceasing to function while people are fighting for their lives.
That contrast is chilling, which actually bleeds perfectly into how the rest of society, the outside world, is reacting to this disaster. The song turns its gaze to the observers. Translated, the news media are sparkling and bloodshot. Calmness and a bird's eye view are strictly forbidden.
The cultural weight of this lyric is intense. The media is madness-driven and bloodshot, fueling the fire. In this frenzy, staying calm and watching from a distance is strictly forbidden.
It's a powerful image.
It is. And what is truly fascinating for anyone savoring these lyrics is the brilliant kanji play for the word kira kira.
Kira kira usually means sparkling or glittering, right? Like pop idols or shiny jewelry.
Normally, yes. It's a cute pop word. But the lyric sheet uses entirely different, highly ominous kanji characters for it instead. It combines the characters for spirit or energy and naked or bear.
A naked bear spirit? That is incredibly creepy.
It visually represents a bare, naked, murderous intent. It is taking this cute word sparkling and turning it into a viral infection that is spreading through the media, straight into the bloodshot, screen-addicted eyes of the crowd watching the disaster at home on the news. The madness isn't just in Shibuya, it's contagious.
That is such a disturbing image, a sparkling bloodshot media frenzy. And then the song hits us with the word gohato, which means strictly forbidden. That stood out to me right away because it sounds so incredibly old school. It almost sounds like a severe, unbending law from the Edo period of Japanese history.
It absolutely carries that historical weight. And what is forbidden by this severe law? Fukan, which means looking objectively from above or taking a calm bird's eye view. This is King Gnu directly provoking you, the listener.
Provoking the audience directly.
Yes. The song is laying down an absolute law. You are not allowed to be a calm bystander. You're not allowed to watch this tragedy safely from a distance, just shaking your head at the screen. You're ordered to jump into the vortex of enthusiasm and madness as an active participant.
It demands that we feel the heat. We can't just be consumers of the tragedy. Which brings us to the final phrase we were exploring today, and honestly, it feels like a sudden, jarring shift in tone.
It really is a shift.
After all this madness, the lyrics say, translated, respond to me. I want to feel that body temperature, the low temperature flow, has lit a blue flame.
The profound nuance here is, respond to me, I want to feel your warmth. This cold, low temperature flow has ignited a blue flame in the depths of the soul.
After an entire song about destruction, devouring, and madness, there's this sudden, almost shocking vulnerability. Amidst all the death, there is a desperate cry for body temperature.
Yeah, it's very raw.
It's like they're begging for actual proof of life, reaching out to feel a pulse in the dark. But I'm also really hung up on this musical paradox in the second half. It mentions a low-temperature flow in a song that is so utterly chaotic and wild. How exactly does a low-temperature flow ignite a flame?
That paradox is what makes this a masterpiece, and it synthesizes everything we've been talking about beautifully. The low-temperature flow refers directly to how the music itself is structured. You have this pounding, chaotic, high-energy instrumental track, the beats are driving, the synths are wild, but then the vocal delivery in these moments drops to a cold, quiet, almost breathy, suppressed whisper.
Oh, I hear that. The singer is barely whispering over this massive wall of sound.
Exactly. It suppresses the outward emotions so deeply. It packs all that madness and desperation down so tight into this cold vocal delivery that the pressure becomes unbearable. And that immense pressure is what ignites the blue flame in the depths of the soul.
That makes so much sense.
And we know from basic science that blue fire is actually much hotter, much sharper, and much more intense than red fire.
Because it's burning with total efficiency.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This blending of cold vocals and passionate instrumentals, of death and life, of utter silence and roaring screaming, that contradiction is the very definition of the curse and the blessing called special. That incredibly hot, suppressed blue flame is the only light illuminating the hopeless, pitch-black night of Shibuya.
Wow.
If we step back and look at the whole picture of what we've explored today, King Gnu has achieved something truly remarkable. They have taken sheer suffocating despair and elevated it to supreme art. They did it by crashing heavy, ancient Chinese scholarly vocabulary against cold, modern, urban decay. And that repeating word throughout the entire track, kiwa, the edge, the brink, acts as hypnotic spell. It forces you, the listener, to face the cool truth of the Shibuya incident. Being special is simultaneously a profound blessing and a horrific, isolating curse.
It really is an absolute masterpiece of lyricism. And savoring the lyrics like this leaves you with a lingering, almost uncomfortable thought. We just explored how the everyday, objective, boring infrastructure of a modern city can collapse in an absolute instant into a Shibuya incident where all societal reason is completely abandoned. So I have to ask you listening, what blue flame of raw primal instinct are you currently hiding behind your polite, everyday society manners?
That's a haunting question to leave on.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and exploring this with us today. We pick up various Japanese songs and update detailed explanations on our website, so if you want to savor the lyrics even more deeply, please check the link in the description. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe or follow the channel. And please leave a comment with your thoughts or requests for other songs you want us to cover. See you next time. This was Japan Lyric Room.